You know, Japanese barbecue can be a little tricky. This is because despite being at the restaurant, only meat is provided and you need to cook it yourself. But that means your knowledge and cooking skill influence the taste of the dish. But don't worry, I'm with you today. But this time the series on how to deliciously eat Japanese food, introducing Japanese barbecue, aka Yakiniku. Looks delicious. Alright, so the first thing you might be worried about is what kind of meat to order. You know, as you can see, there are so many meats. In Japanese Yakiniku restaurant, there are a lot of menus and the taste is really different depending on the part of the meat. So if you don't have much experience going to Yakiniku in Japan, please try ordering these classic menus that many Japanese people often eat. Alright, so the meat we Japanese love and often eat, but which is not eaten much in your country, is the beef tongue. But the tongue has a delicate flavor that is different from other parts. But despite its chewiness, it has low fat and a light taste is its characteristic. If you have ever visited Japanese barbecue, please try the beef tongue. Alright, next one is harami. It refers to the meat located at the diaphragm of the cow. In English, it's also called scut steak or hunger steak. You can enjoy its very juicy and resilient texture and the softness that you can bite through. Not only you can fully taste the deliciousness of the meat, but there is also a moderate amount of fat. However, you won't feel it's greasy. Another most popular part of the meat is this one, kalbi. It is the rib meat around the rib area. It is very flavorful and the sweet taste of fat can be felt in its juicy flavor. But since it is part with a lot of fat, many people like it and all children like it. Next is the loin. It is a part from the back to the waist. This part lets you feel a good balance of the deliciousness of the red meat and the sweetness of fat. It has less fat than kalbi and it is characterized by its refreshing taste when eaten. Also, one thing you should know before you order is how much meat one serve is. But one serving is approximately about this much meat, but 6 pieces, which is 80 grams to 100 grams. But of course it varies depending on the part, but please use this as a guideline. As you can see, this is just like one portion, like just 2 pieces. Meats like this, 4 pieces. And there is another important thing to know when ordering meat at a Japanese barbecue. That is, when ordering most cuts, you need to decide on the flavor. But you will choose between sauce or salt. If you eat with salt, you can fully enjoy the original deliciousness of the meat. In the case of sauce, you can enjoy the rich taste of meat intertwined with the deliciousness of the sauce. But many Japanese people seem to choose the sauce, and I mostly choose the sauce too. But if you are eating high quality meat, it is also recommended to eat with salt. So for example, this restaurant, well actually we can't choose the sauce. I all like meat actually and salt. Some of them like using wasabi. It's also delicious. But just try, like any taste is actually really delicious. Well, of course the drink you have with your barbecue is also very important. In the case of Japanese barbecue, it's beer. But I already drank a bit. But the flavor and the refreshing bitterness of beer reset your taste, allowing you to enjoy the meat even more. But I believe there are also people among you who don't drink alcohol. For such people, I highly recommend ordering oolong tea. I often order oolong tea myself. Its aroma neutralizes the greasy taste of the meat, refreshing your mouth. And remember, refreshing your mouth is one of the keys to enjoy yakiniku in Japan. We will explain it more later while eating. Alright, so now we are going to start grilling it. But the order in which meat is cooked is extremely important. Like changing the order of cooking can change the taste of the meat. And this is your friend, tongue, is used when grilling. Alright, so let's start grilling tongue first. Well, this is because the fat has a major impact on the taste of meat. Well, fatty meat is more likely to accumulate in the stomach and the flavor is more likely to remain in the mouth. If you eat fatty parts first, something like kalbi, it may interfere with the taste of the meat you eat later. So you start with less fatty meat, something like beef tongue is the key. What people often get confused about is how long to grill the meat. Well, it actually all depends on your preference and your experience, but you need to be careful to avoid overcooking and burning the meat. Well, for me, like the tongue, you can enjoy its tenderness and juiciness by quickly grilling the surface and keep the inside a bit rare. It's already done. When you go to a barbecue restaurant, why this kind of sauce often prepared, one of them often lemon. This is basically used when eating tongue like this. So let's eat with lemon. いただきます。よし、いくぞ。いただきます。ね、レモンをね、して。美味しそう。いきます。美味しい。It's so chewy, and the taste is like obviously meat, but the taste that you've never ever experienced, I guess. So try this one first, you know. I think I've been to Yakiniku in Japan probably more than 100 times, but my first starter is always beef tongue and never betrayed my expectation. You know, beef tongue, it's really amazing and a new experience for you. Please try it in Japan. Alright, so once you have enjoyed eating the tongue to some extent, next you will grill loin, ribs, and harami. Well, I just told you yakiniku is delicious when you eat the lighter flavored one and those with less fat first. But if you are not planning to grill anything salty afterward, you don't have to worry about the amount of fat or seasoning and can grill a variety of things without any problem. If you ordered any of these meat with salt flavor, it would be better to grill that first. ハラミちゃん焼いちゃいます。You know, one common mistake beginners tend to make is flipping the meat over and over again. Well, I understand that how you feel. You know, you wonder, is it cooked? Is it burned? Is it burned? Alright, that's fine. That's why it's important to learn the timing of when to flip it. But most meat will start to release juices on the surface when they are being cooked. It's best to flip when the juices start to come out like this. Alright, so this is halami. They recommend using wasabi. You know, actually using wasabi is not only for sushi, but with meat. It's absolutely amazing. I put like this amount. Oops. And eat it. いただきます。Meat with wasabi. It's probably like something weird for you, but like, you know, wasabi is not spicy when you eat with meat, you know, because like meat has a lot of fat, which is like quite sweet. So sweet fat of meat mixed with wasabi, that is like the perfect collaboration, and the taste is really amazing. Also, wasabi brings out the tasteness of the meat, so it's really amazing. Please try it. Okay, so next one is roast. Interestingly, this restaurant recommended eating roast with raw egg. Can you see that? It's first time for me, like, you know, yakiniku restaurants serve raw egg when eating meat. But like, obviously we have like sukiyaki, like Japanese food, popular Japanese food. When we eat sukiyaki, obviously we eat meat with raw egg, so it should be tasty. Flip, flip. Alright, it's ready. They said they put the onion, not onion, spring onion. Dip it. Wow. Can you see that? ででー。いただきます。おおおお。I think if you have eaten sukiyaki in Japan, you can probably expect the taste, but it's simply amazing. Raw egg with meat. So delicious. Well, another common mistake beginners tend to make is grilling a lot of meat at once, but forgetting the order in which they put it on and burning it. You know, imagine that it's the same thing when you take your little child to the park. You meet your neighborhood mom friends and the conversation gets lively. Yet your attention is always on your lovely child to make sure they don't get into trouble, right? So here, the meat is your lovely child. But make sure to keep your eye on it, prevent it from burning. Then it will grow nicely. あ、カルビ食べます？
はい、いただきます。
あ、じゃあ置いてきますね。
はい、ありがとうございます。
Alright, so let me introduce one aspect of Japanese culture during a barbecue. But do you know that in Japan there is a term called Yakiniku But this refers to someone who is in charge of grilling the meat at the barbecue. So in this case, the person like me, like choosing the meat to grill and paying attention to how well it's cooked is important in ensuring, you know, everyone can enjoy delicious meat. But a yakiniku bugyo who can perform well is appreciated by everyone, but it's a very difficult role as being too meticulous can be a bit annoying, to be honest. A little introduction to Japanese culture. じゃあ最近はなんか包むのは何もない感じですかね。
包むのはそうですね。一応野菜でしたら
もうサラダって感じですよね。これ全部サラダですよね。はい。じゃあ一旦その2つですいません。申し訳ないです。はい、お願いします。あ、はい、すみません、お願いします。もう僕たち好きなんで結構買いますけど、まあでもないからね、しょうがない。So like we are talking about what we usually order when we go to Yakiniku, and we basically order like vegetable. It's called sanche. It's probably like from Korea, I guess, and you know it's quite like popular like when we eating Japanese barbecue. It's basically like a vegetable, just like leaf. So we wrap it and eat with meat, and which is really good. But the taste itself is like nothing changed, but the vegetable, you know, refreshing our like mouth and also kind of like neutralize, you know, kind of fatty taste inside the mouth. So it's really good, but like they don't have so this time. No sanche. Sorry about that. Alright, so I just ordered some strange meat for everyone. These are innards. Well, I think most of the people watching this video right now have never eaten these innards in their lives. You know, I believe some of you don't like it, some of you love it. It's probably a lot for you, but many Japanese people like it, so please give it a try. I love it. But in Japanese barbecue restaurant, there are many types of innard, and some places allow you order by specific part of innard. But on the other hand, there are like also places like this restaurant serve everything together as innard. But obviously, like you know, they have like 4 parts of innards, and one is like heart. It looks weird, isn't it? It's a bit difficult to even judge how much to grill compared to other meats, so please eat it after carefully cooking it. Ta-da! これレバーっぽいね。Alright, so these are all innards, but obviously different part of innards. As you can see, like, you know, those two have a lot of fat, but like another one and this one is like don't have fat that much. So it's completely different even though like you are like innards. So just like, it's probably, again, lovely for you, but it's also, you know, the interesting part of, you know, like discovering Japanese foods. So chewy. I even can't bite. It's like you know, eating like gummy, like chewing candy, something like that. Wow. The texture is very unique. That is like, you know, the tasty part of eating innards, to be honest. And this one is like looks similar, but like more fat, obviously. And this is actually my favorite innards. It's really fatty, so you can simply enjoy the umami of fatty meat. Alright, last one. I think this one is again. I think this one is heart, I guess. But it's like kind of strong smell of the meat. So it's literally you are eating the meat, something like that. It's kind of unique taste of Japanese meat. I'm not sure you like it. If you can enjoy this kind of Japanese meat taste, you can absolutely enjoy anything, any meat in Japan. So just give it a try. And if you don't like it, you don't need to try anymore. But if you like it, just eat every time you go to Yakiniku restaurant. If it's on the menu, definitely try the meat sushi. When you think of sushi, many people imagine fish. Well, we Japanese too, but in Japan, meat sushi is also famous. But you might not be able to even imagine it, but it's a great dish where you can simply enjoy the sweetness of the meat fat and the umami of the red meat. It's completely different taste from the same meat when it's grilled. So if you have never had it before, please give it a try. Alright, so here there is ginger. This is basically to refresh your mouth. So eat this one first because we eat fatty, oily meat. Refresh your mouth and then eat. They even put sea urchin on the top. Itadakimasu. I'm obviously eating the meat, raw meat, but I'm not sure if they don't say it's meat, I probably think it's fish. But it's simply so delicious. You can literally enjoy the taste of umami of the meat and also certain amount of fat. It's simply amazing. You think you can enjoy yakiniku the same way, no matter what day you go, right? Well, in general, that's true, but strictly speaking, it's different. Why? Well, because the Japanese meat market is basically closed on Saturdays and Sundays. Well, this means that on Monday, Yakiniku restaurant may serve meat that was purchased the previous Friday. But of course, even if you go to a Yakiniku restaurant on Monday, you can eat a good quality and safe meat. I sometimes go to Yakiniku on Mondays too. But however, if you really want to try fresh meat in Japan, do not go to Yakiniku on Monday. But people who want to eat a variety of grilled meats like I introduced need to be aware of one thing. Well, that is going to barbecue restaurant at lunchtime. But most barbecue restaurants in Japan are open from noon, but during the daytime, basically until 3 o'clock, you can only order from the brunch menu. I think there are hardly any restaurants where you can order a la carte. So therefore, if you want to eat various parts of the meat and side menus I introduced, it would be better to go in the evening. Urban barbecue restaurant, the budget is generally assumed to be around 3,000 to 5,000 yen per person. But however, if you choose a high-end barbecue restaurant, it is usually exceed 10,000 yen per person. But the difference in price is basically due to the rank and quality of the meat. But however, the good thing about Yakiniku is that you can eat delicious barbecue even at relatively inexpensive barbecue. The restaurant we went today is actually we didn't eat that much, but the price was 14,000. Well, again, we didn't order that much, so I would say it's a relatively high-end Japanese barbecue restaurant. One serving is roughly about $20. But there are also cheaper restaurants that cost about just $5 per per serving. Going to a restaurant and cooking and eating your own food like this time's barbecue might be a bit unusual in your country. But however, you all already know how to eat delicious barbecues yourself, right? So not only grilled meat, but there are also many ways to eat delicious Japanese food, such as sushi and ramen. So if you want to eat Japanese food more deliciously, please also watch this video while we are introducing ways to eat other Japanese food deliciously as a series. Well, I'm looking forward to you all having delicious Japanese yakiniku in Japan. See ya!